The essentials that you need to know about group leadership is really the fact I want you to organize and lead your regular group meetings that you have on a monthly basis. I'm going to want you to delegate responsibility. In other words, I want you to ask people in your group to maybe host this group at their house. I'm going to want you to get people to facilitate the lesson on some weeks. I'm going to want you to ask people to find ways in the community that your group can serve, and they do that. They pursue that. They make the phone calls, not you. I want other people bringing you food. I want other people setting up childcare. I want other people calling around and doing social events for your group and really owning that, because here's why. I don't want this just to be your group. I want it to be y'all's group, so to speak. I want people to own this group together, and that's going to be so important is when you give them responsibility, you know what, that's also going to make sure that they're there at that group experience. The other thing is what's important for you as a journey group leader and what the elements are that are important is that we have two things that I'm going to want to invite you to that are going to be constantly ongoing in this process of journey group leadership. One of those will be a quarterly leadership training event that we have here at the Summit, and it's a big deal. We pull out all the stops. It's a lot of fun. But we invite all of our journey group leaders here at the Summit to this one event that we have on a quarterly basis. And it's our quarterly training events, and they are awesome. And I'm going to want you to be there because we're going to be talking about in-house stuff. We're going to be talking about things that are going to be important to you, to your group, to your family. And we want you to be a part of that. And plus, you'll get to meet other group leaders and have shared experiences and kind of hear what's going on in their group. So those are very important. The other thing I'm going to want you to be a part of is our group coaching sessions that we have at the Summit. Now, typically, these will be on Sunday mornings during the early service or a time in that time frame. And I'll invite you to this meeting where there'll be probably 10 to 12 leaders in a circle. And I'll basically be asking you three things. Number one, what can we celebrate about what God's doing in your group? Number two, what frustrations are you experiencing in your group? And really, number three, how can I help? And those will be wonderful experiences for you to be a part of. You'll want to be a part of those. The other thing is, I'm going to want to give you a launch plan. I'm going to want to give you a launch plan in the very beginning where you can sit down and it's a sheet of paper with all different kinds of questions that will challenge you to think through, what's the purpose of this group? When do we want to start? When do we want to end? What are we going to do about childcare? What are we going to do about prayer? What are we going to do about curriculum? It's going to have all different kinds of questions on it that will cause you to think through some of the things maybe that you haven't thought through yet that will be really important in the life of your group. You're going to want to know this information, so a launch plan is going to be wonderful. Another thing is friendship with your group members is critical. Now here it is. When group leaders come to me and they're frustrated, typically, it's because of this reason, that they're not forming friendships with the people in their group, and they're just kind of, the only time they see each other is every 2 weeks at their group meeting. And it's kind of dry, and it's kind of hard to get through because they don't really know each other. And I want to challenge you as the group leader. I want you to really make an effort to be friends with the people in your group. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to be best friends with everybody in your group. I don't expect that of you. But what I do want you to be is a connector. I want you to connect people together. In other words, when you do lunches or do dinners, invite several families over so that they can begin connecting so that all the relational energy doesn't run through you to the rest of the group because it'll get bottlenecked. I want you to encourage other people to connect with one another, and friendships with your group is critical. It's critical. You've got to pursue that. And then finally, what I'm going to want you to do is talk about multiplication, your group multiplying really from the very beginning. Our philosophy here at the Summit is we want our groups to expand and multiply all the time. We are always looking for new leaders who can start new groups. So when you start your group, I'm going to want you to talk about one day your hope and your dream and your prayer is that somebody in that group, that God will raise them up as a leader to want to lead a journey group as well. And what's going to help you when you talk about it on the front end is when it's time to multiply on the back end, you're not surprising anybody. Everybody will know. Everybody will know it's been important. Because sometimes when groups multiply, it's like, but we all love each other and we're all close and nobody wants to leave and nobody wants to, it's just kind of all emotional and it can be tough. But we want to avoid all that by letting everybody know on the front end, Multiplication is the goal. It's the goal to reach other people, to provide more spaces and more places, even for the people that you and I love, to get involved in a journey group. We've got to develop new leadership, and we've got to multiply our groups.